reason only, and that reason is war! I said war! Are you in love, Private? Then don't look at me or give me nightmares. Lights! Saustralasia!
Hello and welcome to the Evercade Retreat. My name is Gene Joke and today I'm talking about the Gremlin Collection 2 that's just been announced for the Evercade. I'm sure everyone else is going to be going on about Neo Geo and SNK, and that's understandable, but I think many people will overlook Gremlin 2, as I know the first Gremlin collection wasn't a massively popular one, or at least it falls into many people's least favourite collection rankings. That intro, as you might have guessed, is from Hogs of War. It's a game that I've never played before, or at least I'd never played before I got footage for this video, but I'd always heard good things about it. I'd heard that it's a very Worms-like game, in terms of humour and in gameplay, but I'll get into that in a minute. Essentially, the Gremlin Collection 2 is 4 PS1 games. It is a gigacart, so always slightly more expensive than the standard collection. It contained Loaded, its sequel Reloaded, Hogs of War, and a game called Buggy, which I believe had a different name in certain regions, Team Racing something, whatever, but it's called Buggy here, and that's what I knew it as, so Buggy is. Starting off with Hogs of War. It is a sort of turn-based strategy game with a sense of humour. It's like 3D Worms before there was a Worms 3D. You've got the vocal talents of Rick Mail, the late and great Rick Mail, and he certainly adds a bit of flavour to it. It has all the humour you would expect from such a game, involving pigs, war, and such like. As I mentioned, I always heard good things about it, and having a quick go to get this footage, it seems like it could be quite fun as long as you like your Worm-style gameplay, although it is a bit different from that, but there is definite similarities. It's obviously not going to be a game for everyone, but if you're like me and you enjoy the Worms games, you'll get a lot of fun out of this one, I suspect. The cover star here is Loaded. This is a top-down shoot-'em-up, just basically think Gauntlet, but with a very 90s sort of ugly, violent style of art and just presentation. You've got some sort of techno, almost industrial sounding music, gratuitous violence, strange, hideous, really weird looking characters with comical names. It doesn't take itself seriously at all, and it is essentially just about mindless violence. It was also one of the very first PS1 games I played, and actually one of the reasons I picked it up is because it had music from the band Pop Cell, who I was a huge fan of at the time. I suspect those tracks will be removed from this version, but they're only on the intros and things anyway. This is a very 90s game and I love it for it. I won't say I love it, I like it. It's not an amazing game, but it is a good fun game. The sequel, Reloaded, is largely more of the same, but ultimately I just don't think it's as good. It's definitely lost something in, I don't know if it's a Rush sequel or what have you. It doesn't do anything too differently, but I never really got into this one. I really didn't have a huge amount to say about it, but I'm looking forward to giving it another chance because I never gave it a huge chance back in the day. But I am very aware that as a whole it is considered to be a lesser sequel, but that's not uncommon. And finally we have Buggy. This is a racing game where you control a buggy, but I think it's like a radio controlled buggy. I have played this a bit before. It's got a very 90s vibe to it. The music is, I wouldn't say trendy, but it's definitely of its time and it works for it. It's no Gran Turismo or V-Rally or whatever, but it is quite a fun racing game. I did enjoy what I played of it, and there has been a lack of racing games on the Evercade, so this would be a nice addition. So there's no really big hitters here. It doesn't have the recognition of something like Tomb Raider or even Broken Sword, but Loaded was fairly well known, and Hogs of War has got a bit of a reputation for being a fun game. I think having 4 decent sized games on here definitely helps. Actually you have 3 different types of game, really adds to that. You've got a bit of variety, you've got gameplay length. I think in terms of value for a gigacart, you're going to get your money's worth out of this. Hogs of War and Buggy will be very replayable, and if I recall correctly they all have some form of multiplayer on them as well. I think this collection is going to be well worth picking up. Again, it won't be to everyone's taste. If you have a particular distaste for like 32-bit or early 32-bit and early 3D games, it's probably not going to float your boat, but give it a chance. Despite the lack of a real big standout title, I think you could end up quite enjoying this collection. Anyway, that's it for this video. I'm going to leave out with a silly song just to, pad this out really, and I'll see you in the next video.
Step into the madhouse where the psychos play, a prison of the damned, there's no escape today. the enemy dies. Dance of destruction, a symphony of sin. The only rule that matters, let the carnage begin. Down the corridors of madness, hear the echo of the scream. Locked and loaded, ready to explode. In this maze of mayhem, take the killer's road. Endless violence, painted red and black. Psychotic rampage, and there's no turning back. It's time to lose control. Load its nightmare carnival deep inside your soul.